ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWF Raw is War 2001, December 24th episode, Retro Review. Ladies and gentlemen, just have to say this much, starting things off, this was a funny fucking episode from the different parties that were going on for the Christmas Eve celebration that was happening during this point in time, since it was Christmas Eve and all. And I was very entertained by both Vince McMahon's party that was going on and Ric Flair's. Basically, Vince McMahon had the heels partying with him, and Ric Flair having the faces party with him. And it was just an all-out funny show. I mean, there wasn't a ton of wrestling going on. The matches that they did have were short and sweet, but they were funny as hell, especially Stone Cold Steve Austin's segment in that backstage for that party with Ric Flair. Stone Cold comes in, he goes on to say about how he wants Tajiri Santa Claus to grant him a wish to drink a shitload of different alcoholic beverages, get another shot for the WWF Undisputed Championship, and also have an opportunity to beat the living hell out of Chris Jericho whenever he gets that opportunity to do so, and also beat up Booker T's ass for beating him in the first blood match from the SmackDown episode before that. So, some funny things that went on with Vince McMahon's party. They had Booker T. He was pretty much the lead man with Vince McMahon's party. He went ahead and he was fascinated by all the strippers that Vince McMahon brought in to their party. He also had there was a segment where I believe, Maven, he went on to say about how he thought it was entertaining watching Booker T get his ass whipped by Stone Cold Steve Austin in the grocery store segment a couple of weeks before that. We also get to see Stone Cold Steve Austin near the end of the show in Vince McMahon's party beating the hell out of Vince McMahon, and also Vince McMahon having to stare up at Mae Young's dried out vagina, which you don't actually see, thank God. I would not want to see that. Especially the fact that Mae Young is old as fuck during this point in time, and she was old from the day I ever got to see her on television, since I was very young at that point in time in my life. There was a lot of things that came out of it, very funny segments. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the main funny guy of this whole episode. They really revolutionized Stone Cold into a comedy act. He was very funny, and he still kicked ass at the same time. I like that. I thought it was very good by WWE back in the time to do that. Unfortunately, their plans for him to become their main event star still was iffy, because they wanted him to lose to Brock Lesnar in a first round King of the Ring tournament, which didn't go over well. If you're not familiar with this, Stone Cold Steve Austin pretty much goes ahead, leaves the WWE for several months, and then comes back later on. But, with all that being said, this episode was fun as hell to watch. You get to see the main event be a World Heavyweight Championship match with Kurt Angle, The Rock, and Chris Jericho competing for the Undisputed Championship. Jericho, I have to say this much, through Jericho's title defense, from the time he won the belt to the time he lost the belt, which I won't say because I don't want to give anything away based on anyone that isn't too familiar from the Attitude Era, such as Ruthless Aggression Era, such as younger kids or people that didn't pay much attention to these stuff in the old days and are actually tuning in for these episodes. Jericho was very impressive. He had to defend his title practically every single episode. As you may tell if you look back from all the retro reviews that I started from December 10th to now, he's, for 2001 all the way through the Ruthless Aggression Era, he has been defending his championship left and right in every single episode and getting fortunate to walk out still the World Heavyweight Champion. So I have to say this much. He was very impressive as their first ever undisputed champion. I think Jericho deserved more back in the day, but they made up for lost time later on during his career, so it's all good. But anyway, I'm going to start getting into the matches and everything. We had Rikishi face Test in a DQ. That's how it ended. Rikishi won. Lance Storm kind of got involved in this match, so it wasn't that big of a... Or actually, I think it was Chris Jericho. Yeah, it was Chris Jericho, I believe. I'm not sure. Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo defeated the APA in a minute and 49 seconds. I wasn't too impressed by this at all. This match, I hated Chuck Palumbo and Billy Gunn. They sucked. And they played a gay couple on top of it, which made matters even worse, so who fucking cares? Rob Van Dam and Lance Storm was a decent match. I liked this match. Unfortunately, the match only went for 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, so that kind of sucked. I think if they would have had more time, it would have even been better, but it was still a really good match, and Rob Van Dam walked away the winner. Rob Van Dam and Lance Storm kind of had a backstage confrontation with each other because Lance Storm was in Jericho's locker room, and Lance Storm talked up for Jericho, saying Jericho doesn't need to give you another rematch. You lost your chance at winning the World Heavyweight title from him. Move on with your life. And Rob Van Dam said, okay, well, if you want to be his messenger boy, how about I kick your ass and beat you in a one-on-one match? So that's how that came about. Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler fought each other in an eggnog match. No big deal there. If you're into beautiful women and so forth, it's a really good eye candy situation. But otherwise, it's not that big of a deal wrestling-wise. Wrestling in general with these two was horrible. Today's women wrestling is entertaining, main event quality, and you get a chance to see real wrestling with women today. So there you go. If you don't believe me, check it out on the WWE Network for the Women's Revolution documentary that they have. Christian defends the European Championship during this event against Hurricane and walks out still the European champion. So not that big of a deal. Not a bad match. A decent match overall. So very impressed by that. Like the fact that Christian could actually pick up a victory, because I do believe at some point he starts bitching and moaning like a crybaby bitch. But that's not here or there for right now. Booker T, he went one-on-one with Maven. As I said, Maven made a statement about how he found it funny that Booker T got his ass whooped by Stone Cold Steve Austin, which brought about this match, and Booker T ended up beating Maven's ass and getting the 1-2-3. We had a Santa Claus match. Bubba Santa and Tajiri Santa Claus go one-on-one. Of course, it's Bubba Ray Dudley versus Tajiri. Tajiri wins this match by his finishing maneuver with the kick to the head. Very good match, decent-wise, despite the fact that they were dressed up in Santa Claus suits. And fucking Bubba Ray Dudley made Santa Claus look like Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton. So, with an alcoholic beverage in his hand, drinking vodka straight out of the bottle. It's kind of funny. Then the Undisputed Championship match. Of course, Jericho walks away retaining the championship against Kurt Angle and The Rock with a very fortunate win. He's outside the ring. Rock and Kurt Angle are beating the hell out of each other. I believe I believe Kurt Angle hits his Angle Slam, and then Jericho gets the 1-2-3 because Jericho knocks out Kurt Angle, pins The Rock 1-2-3 for the victory. And that's basically the end of the show. Jericho once again escaping with the victory and retaining his Undisputed Championship. So, not bad at all. So, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments and opinions down below. I definitely recommend this episode to anybody that's interested in watching it. It's definitely well worth your time and very entertaining. It'll make you laugh. Anyway, thank you very much again. Have a great day, guys. Bye.